Thank you very much. That was a good introduction. Actually, I have a third foot. I'm a kind of a mutant. I am data warehousing and advanced analytics. I'm also business intelligence, but I'm also on the customer relationship management team at Forrester. I'm the analytics analyst on the CRM team, looking at customer-facing business processes. And specifically, I focus on the role of advanced analytics to help you improve the customer experience, but also to boost lifetime value that you derive from the customer relationships in terms of sales and revenues and the like. So really today I'm talking about MBA, and it's not the basketball context. It's a term that's probably slightly unfamiliar to MBAs, because you might know it by other terms, or you might know the practice by other terms. Targeted offers. Decision automation is a term that's often used. Recommendation engines are a key technology for enabling this, but next best offer is another term that's used. I'm going to use the term NBA, next best action, in a broader sense of some enabling analytics and big data approaches to help you boost experience of the customer, but also boost the bottom line. So MBAs, you know what that means. And in fact, this is, next best action is my business application topic. Normally I'm known as the data warehousing guru at Forrester, so it's always fun to talk about business topics. So really, next best action, I'm going to try to avoid using the acronym. Next best action it's not a brand new area. It's a well-established discipline or set of practices, and there's a broad range of solutions on the market and approaches for doing it. Fundamentally, it's got strong ROI, because as an approach, and I'll get into the guts of it in the course of my presentation, fundamentally it's all about improving customer retention, selling them more things, improving your bottom line. And also, you can deploy the same technology, recommendation engines, decision automation, into your back-end business processes to help you improve order fulfillment and the like. So there's clear ROI. In fact, I'll be presenting a few case studies that I've done recently. They were published in some of my Forrester reports to establish that NBA, next best action, is well established, and really and fundamentally it's a very powerful technology for targeting offers to your customers across all your channels, be they the call center, the point of sale, through outbound direct marketing and the like, to deliver value to the customers, to keep them happy and to keep them on board. So really, it's all about maximizing value and boosting experience, and really the secret sauce is analytics, predictive models, data mining, market basket analysis, as well as things like deterministic business rules. And it's enabling infrastructure that many companies, large and not so large, have deployed into their CRM processes, sales, marketing, customer service, and the like. So today I'll be talking about providing basically for a business audience a grounding in the basics of next best action. First, the important thing to focus on right now, in fact, I'll be speaking at a Forrester conference later this week on the same topic, customer experience. People often think about next best action to reduce customer churn, but really in many ways that's a defensive strategy. To be on the offense, you want to keep the customer happy and loving you, and it's all a matter of boosting their experience, and you can use this technology to do that. So I'll be describing how to do that, how it's being done, the role of predictive models, as well as big data in this approach, providing some high-level metrics about how to measure both improvements in customer experience that are attributable to deploying next best action, as well as how do you measure the boost in customer lifetime value that results. Providing a quick overview of a few case studies. I did about a dozen earlier in the year, and they were published in 5 different reports. And I'll end with some recommendations for professionals who are involved both in customer relationship management, but also in business process management and optimization, because this is a critical business process optimization technology. Excuse me. So customer experience, the secret sauce behind success really in your business. What truly drives any business is a customer. You don't exist without customers. You exist to catch, keep, and grow customer relationships. And so really what truly drives your business are two things. Love. You want your customers to love you, love the experience you provide, the whole brand aura. And you want to deepen and extend that relationship in any way you can. At the same time, money. You want to not only make them happy, but you want to make your shareholders happy. You want to boost sales and revenues and profits and rock and roll market share and everything. So clearly, love and money are the core of what every MBA should know about what really truly drives business. Experience, the love side of the equation, the customer satisfaction, the loyalty side of the equation. Really, the customer experience is the sum total of your customers' interactions, or it's derived from the sum total of customers' interactions with you across all channels, across all touch points, throughout the entire relationship. And really, the experience is the impression that stays with the customer about how well that relationship serves them. Is it a golden experience or a tarnished one? So really, moving through, so what golden moments matter most to your customers? That's what you should focus on. Everything will, if customers are not finding value, a good experience with you, they'll go to the competition. They have plenty of alternatives. So what golden moments matter most to your customers? In terms of building your business process, how can you shape those moments inside your business processes? In the call center, in the self-service portal, in the point of sale, through social media. Think about those moments of truth. And how will you enable those moments of truth inside those business processes? Through big data, through trustworthy data that you maintain, say, in data marts, customer analytics repositories, your enterprise data warehouse. To the extent that you're doing customer analytics in the cloud, maybe perhaps in an Apache Hadoop cluster, there's various ways to do big data and advanced analytics to enable trustworthy data and trustworthy analytics to be driven into these processes. But fundamentally, it's all about monetizing ROI. Bottom line, we go back here. The latency on this is driving me nuts. Here we go. Fundamentally, how will you monetize the ROI from boosting the customer experience across all these different front-end processes? That's what I'll be discussing today. Some high-level metrics you can take away from today's session that can help you to put a bottom-line number on a customer experience as enabled through next best action technology. And I'll help you to understand when you've gone too far, when you've done overkill on customer experience, because you certainly can. You can throw every technological trick in the book at it and not necessarily realize a good return on your investment. So there'll be some gotchas there or some caveats. This is obvious. Experiences make or break any relationship. The customer satisfaction is a dynamic and fragile thing. It can change day by day and moment by moment. You may not even be aware that the customer is really angry because maybe the data that, showing that they're really upset are buried in your big data pile. In fact, that's what I'll be speaking on here tomorrow at the Strata Summit, the fact that big data can become just too big. You can't find what you need. You can't correlate it properly. So the reasons for customer satisfaction may be in your CRM database. They may be in the call center logs where people are calling in angry and it just gets lost there. Email interactions, you can listen into the social media and determine whether people like you or don't. Fundamentally, it's not just, the data is not just there. It's everywhere in the social world now in terms of customer experience data, and that's why we see many businesses investing in social media listening engines, be able to extract that sentiment, positive and not so positive, and determine what to do with it. So in many ways, your most influential customers are already out there either spreading satisfaction or dissatisfaction with you and your brand and your products. And you may or may not realize it. You know. That's why everybody's investing in social CRM tools. So experience spreads through word of mouth. And really social media is a massive megaphone. It's a massive megaphone that influencers use to make their influence felt and people tune into to get a sense for what is sort of the general scuttlebutt or specific scuttlebutt on specific things that you're doing or products or you're positioning in a given segment, whether your current marketing campaign is succeeding or failing. So customers, their satisfaction, clearly, satisfaction, experience is a qualitative thing. We're human beings. We have brains. We take many sources of information, and everything that happens in our lives and in our world, we factor it into the overall experience, the quality of experience. But fundamentally, what you can do about that as a business when you're serving customers is you can engage your customers in an agile way to hopefully to be able to make them happy, turn the whole relationship to your advantage, but you have to be agile. And many companies have a multi-channel strategy for B2C interactions. Point of sale, portal, call center, and whatnot. The customer, you realize that their satisfaction depends on their ability to get what they need from you through whatever channel or channels you happen to use. So here's a typical, and really the whole conversation you're having with your customers is determining their experience. Customer, this one in particular, says, she has looked in the portal and on the stores and she can't find product she needs, so she calls the call center. Can you help me out there? They can see that she's a loyal customer. It comes up in their screen in the CRM system. And they recognize that, well, okay, she's loyal, and we probably need to bend over backwards to tailor something specifically to her needs and possibly ship it to her expedited overnight just to keep her happy. So your ability to make that customer happy in many ways depends on your ability to respond right away to their specific needs and their specific frustrations and pain points when they express them. So that's what experience is. It's critically important to hold on to customers, keep them happy. Next best action. Now here's where this comes in, and there will be a canonical definition of next best action in just a moment if you hang in there. Quality experience. We say it thrives on proactive guidance. What does that mean? The customer is expecting you to hold their hand. They want you to be their partner and helping them find what they need and tune their experience ongoing with your products and services. In MBA, and when you get your MBA, there's various things you're taught about what leads to or contributes to success in business. Cost leadership, differentiation, segmentation, so forth. And you want to cut your prices, keep them down, innovate, and really fit your products to the customer's needs. So, in terms of experience, how that relates to customer experience is you want to give customers more tools for self-service, more tools for to engage you in a more intimate way so that you are addressing their specific needs. And the proactive guidance part of it is really involved in you helping to manage the conversation with the customer across all channels. And so really the next best action can help you achieve all the three things: self-service, proactive guidance, and tailored intimacy you see here. And it can help you to automate many of these interactions without necessarily gutting the critical human interaction side of it all, because that's critically important for experience for many people. So really, next best action, here's the definition that's in the reports that I've authored, and it's the core one that the industry, it's consistent with the industry's use of this term. So in the broadest sense, next best action is really best practices for proactively guiding and optimizing all offers and interactions and experiences that you may have with customers across all channels, processes, and roles. And those channels, processes, and roles are sales, marketing, customer service, brand management, alike. So next best action is the heart of an agile CRM environment or strategy. Fundamentally, what it's all driven toward is producing the very best business outcomes at every step in every business process. And really, fundamentally, those outcomes are quality of experience on the one hand and boosting customer value that you drive, sales and profits and the like, on the other. So fundamentally, what can drive next best action, and it does in many leading companies, is what we call a whole process platform, a next best action process platform that's embedded within your CRM environment, sales, marketing, customer service, and the like. So providing guidance really to help you help the customer take the right step at every stage of the way, no matter what they're doing, that they're always, you've got their back, and analytics is a way of getting their back. So really better experiences, boosted value, and really if you're the bottom line is if you're retaining customers and growing the relationship, you're probably giving them a good time, a worthwhile experience, so keep that in mind. So, going to the heart of a next best action process platform, fundamentally you can drive every interaction from both identifying customers and qualifying and onboarding them to retaining, growing the relationship, resolving customer issues, maximizing campaign lift. We see, and our research shows that it's this technology, and I'll break open the layers of technology in just a second, is being used in all these areas, both in the front office, but also the underlying technologies are being used in the back office as well. Decision automation is another term that's often used, and I know why my problem is I keep hitting the wrong button. So here we go. So really, experience optimization is being driven into CRM operations everywhere through a variety of technologies that, taken together, form the heart of a next best action platform. Decision automation, sentiment analysis, conversation management, dynamic case management, and knowledge management, social networking are important, but so is data warehousing and predictive analytics, and we'll get into that in just a moment. So fundamentally, next best action can be used both for outbound sales, targeting offers, but also can be used to do customer service management to identify burning issues automatically and automatically escalate them to the appropriate account managers and other parties to take proactive action to keep the customer happy or prevent them from being prevent the customer from feeling the pain in the first place. So really, the next best experience is what you should be looking at from an customer experience standpoint. This technology enables you to deliver seamless agility in terms of being able to tailor everything you do to the customer's specific needs and situation. In order to do that, let me build through the whole thing. This is the really complicated eye chart slide that I like to use in lots of these contexts here. A next best action process platform is everything that's in that green rectangle on the left. And fundamentally, at the heart of it is what's called a recommendation engine that's driving all these downstream interactions. And really what's powering the recommendation engine of next best action are your customer relationship management applications, your enterprise data warehouse, in other words, your big data repository, where you might have 3, 4, 5 years of historical customer data, as well as possibly fresh data being loaded in real time from social media and geospatial and so forth, being correlated and aggregated and analyzed. Decision automation tools, when we see a lot of decision automation in a variety of these environments, where decision automation involves some business process management, business rules management systems, predictive analytics, data mining, text analytics. There's a long range of technologies that we see deployed into recommendation engines, which are at the heart of this approach for doing next best action. But really the secret sauce for driving all these interactions are predictive analytics and data mining and business rules and orchestration. So fundamentally, what is next best action in terms of the application environment? What kind of applications are we really talking about? It's automated actions that are being taken, like sending messages to customers or internally escalating various business processes based on various events or actions that are happening in the customer's world or in your back-end systems. It's scripted responses that are being presented to, say, the call center operator based on various scenarios. Customer X is calling in with problem Y on day Z, and they happen to have said, something that relates to something else that's ongoing, and there might be an automated script that the call center agent is reading from to help the customer through the issue. That's fundamentally what next best action comes down to: automated scripting of responses and interactions. But also, what it drives is the personalization of the organization of screens in a customer's self-service portal environment. There's also other things that in the application environment, a next best action infrastructure can trigger, but fundamentally it's all about providing your front-end CRM professionals with guidance and handling interactions, but also providing the customer themselves with a guided experience, a tailored experience that reflects who they are specifically and what's going on in their world right now. But also, this same technology, as I said, can be pushed and often is into the back end. So really the core of Next Best Action is predictive analytics. It's all about predicting what the customer, what offer they might find acceptable or what action they might find acceptable from you at any point in time. People are not robots. You can't know with exactitude what they might need or want. So quite often these scripted responses work through a ranked list of alternatives that the call center agent or the salesperson, the point of sale, might work through with the customer to figure out what specifically addresses their need and makes them happy. So fundamentally, this is just a typical style dialogue with a customer that would be driven on the call center end from scripts that are driven by predictive models on the one hand, churn models, upsell models, there's a wide range of those, as well as by deterministic business rules. So predictive models help you to understand what might make the customer happy, and the business rules often are crafted in such a way as to ensure that whatever you offer and the customer accepts is acceptable both in terms of what will maximize your profits or revenues or some other business objective in that interaction, but also is within the bounds of what's legal, what you're mandated to do, and the like. So there's a broad range of what's called decision logic that are often pushed into and driving next best actions. But fundamentally, scripted presentation of offers is the core killer app of all this, and predictive models are very, very important. And that's where data scientists come in. Here we go. So really, in terms of delivering on your promises to the customer, it's all about optimizing the interactions on the front end, but also optimizing all the interactions in the back end to deliver on the promise you make to them through your front end, say, call center. So fundamentally, next best action is a way of linking the front office with the back office using a common set of models and analytics and rules. So predictive models, I've already discussed this. I'll go quickly through this. Predictions are important in every aspect of business. The world is a moving target. You always need to, you have to place your bets in business. You have to invest resources with a really strong confidence in what is likely to happen under various scenarios. So can you predict how a particular customer will respond to a particular offer at a particular time? Can you predict aggregate customer demand? Can you predict product pricing trends, inventory levels under various scenarios, cash on hand under various financial scenarios, and so forth? There's a broad range of things one needs to predict in order to both maximize customer satisfaction, but also to make sure that you're able to deliver, you're able to satisfy all the other stakeholders in your business. So predictions, statistics-based predictions, critically important to help you rapidly assess the bottom line impact of various scenarios. So predictive models are the lifeblood of next best action. In a multi-channel CRM environment, there's a broad range, a huge range potentially, of predictive statistical models you can use, and they're really in many ways organized by the CRM stakeholders whose needs they address. And we have, on the front end, we have brand, marketing, PR, and consumer affairs teams who use their statistical approaches for their applications. We have sales applications, we have customer service applications. Everything from listening to the voice of the customer, identifying and prospecting and harvesting leads, to managing the customer relationship downstream depends on a wide range of CRM applications that depend on a wide range of models, predictive statistical models. So the number of models and the range and diversity can grow to the point where it becomes unmanageable. You have to be careful, but it's also important to know that predictive analytics is not a crystal ball. What this is all about in terms of predicting the future, there's futures. There's just a range of possible futures. None of these models themselves gives you 100% certainty or can into what might happen. So the important thing in predictive modeling, the core of next best action, is that you should have the best data possible, trustworthy data, and then have the best predictive variables and models possible as developed by your, what we call next best action domain experts, people who actually know the business, people who know customer churn mitigation, who understand upsell scenarios and the like. Make sure that you have the best data and the best models, because if you have junk models and junk data, then your predictive models will produce junk guidance. You have a fuzzy view of what might happen. So avoid the next worst actions. Have the best models, the best data. That means you need data scientists. You need high quality data scientists. And when we talk about a data scientist at Forrester, it's both somebody who's got a degree or a facility with statistics and math, but also somebody who's got a degree or chops in the business, who understand whether it's customer analytics, whether it's financial risk mitigation, whether it's supply chain optimization. Every predictive modeling effort ongoing must be a partnership between the business domain people and the statistical and predictive rocket scientists. Not only do they need the best data and the best models and the best modelers, but you can see the wide range of these models that might drive various next best action scenarios. They need to automate as many of these modeling processes as possible. It's to some degree, it's a craft. But to a great degree, it can be automated. All the data prep, all the regression analysis, much of the model scoring and the model deployment can be automated, and often is, in companies that have invested heavily in this technology. Data scientists, critically important, could not be more important. In terms of the metrics of next best actions, business impact, quality of experience, very, very important. And it's not that qualitative. You can measure satisfaction, and it often is. And really, customers express their satisfaction behaviorally. It's there for the taking. Do they find their relationship with you satisfying? Do they find it satisfying enough to stay in the relationship? In other words, churn rates, customer churn rates, are a critical indicator of dissatisfaction, for example. Satisfaction scores are a critical indicator that they like what you're doing and they want more. Renewals, extensions, and deepening of the relationship. Are they telling the world about you and how great you are? Do they respond rapidly to new offers? And so forth. There's many ways that companies do, in fact, measure these experiential metrics in a quantitative sense. So how do you quantify improvements in experience and value? The chief metric at a high level is CLV, customer lifetime value. It brings love and money together, fundamentally. Because CLV is all about maximizing the things that are directly monetizable in your CRM initiatives. That's things like maximizing repeat purchases, customer renewals, upsell, cross-sell, incremental yields on sales, revenues, and profits, and the like. Minimizing the things that are directly monetizable, IT and staffing costs associated with providing all this next best action technology in the context of a marketing campaign, for example. As well as maximizing the indirectly monetizable but very important experience metrics, satisfaction scores, response and acceptance rates, customer sentiment trends, customer recommendation propensities, voice of the customer, and the like. And likewise, there are experiential metrics that are indirectly monetizable but critically important. Are you reducing abandonment rates on the online shopping carts? If customers are constantly abandoning their shopping carts in your portal experience, that means A, they're not finding what they need, or B, they can't. Your portal sucks. It's just more trouble than it's worth. They're going to go to the competition. Clearly, CLV is, you can put a number on it. It's the potential monetary worth through the course of the relationship with the business of a given customer to you. It can and often is measured in companies that are doing this seriously. Excuse me. But it's not cheap. If you take away anything today from this presentation, it's the fact that this is an established body of best practices, and there's various layers of the layer cake here in terms of doing next best action in CRM. You can do a very simple next best action deployment that just with your existing CRM application, they might have some deterministic business rules you can write to identify the likely static scenarios in terms of customer acceptances and the like. Or you can go to town. You can throw everything in there, all the nouveau stuff, including the social media analytics and the complex event processing, knowledge management, and so forth to empower your call center agents with highly nuanced and social related information on your customers and their world and what makes them happy. You can go to town, but that's going to eat into your ROI. And quite frankly, it might have incremental or might have diminishing marginal returns in terms of what actually matters, which is, are you actually making the customer happy and keeping them on board? So in building out a next best action program, we advise customers that, yeah, you can throw everything in there, but you don't necessarily want to. Remember the bottom line. You want to make them happy. And likewise, you can roll this technology out as a general purpose infrastructure across all your customer-facing channels. We see a lot of it in marketing campaign optimization, for example. And where that proves out, quite often companies then consider other touch points. They'll say, oh, great, proved out in marketing. Let's see if we can take the same next best action technology and push it into our sales through the call center, for example, inbound and outbound channels. So in terms of, you can roll out the various layers of technology to make this all happen. And likewise, you can roll it across all your different channels. But the bottom line is you need to focus on where are the pain points in your business. Where are customers either A, very unhappy, and the relationship could benefit from a little bit of this technology, or where do you greatly need to improve the lift on your marketing spend, and then apply the technology to that particular channel or touch point, and hopefully to produce some lift on your spend. And also hopefully to make the customer happy. So make sure you target your investment on the pain points where it's critically necessary for your business, whatever business you happen to be in. Also make sure as you're doing this that you need to have the expertise in-house. So you're going to have to hire data scientists or recruit them or train them internally or cultivate or help your statistical modelers to migrate up the career path, take on additional capabilities related to next best action. Those are expensive resources, for a fact. So once again, that can cost you a pretty penny, but it can be worth it too. And we have a documented ROI there in our published reports. Just a few case studies here, and I'm just going to go quickly over them. In looking at case studies in this area, every single one I talked to identify both customer experience related metrics that they are able to maximize. Excuse me, pardon me, I hate to cough into mic. Are able to realize, but also value boosts they were able to realize on deploying this technology into their multi-channel strategies. Here's a Japanese online retailer that wanted to improve the lift on offers that it provides to customers through their Prime channel, which is their online portal. And they're able to do that by doing real-time targeting of next best offers in their portal by mining the click streams, the customer click streams, to make sure that they knew what the customer was looking for or trying to do. They had a strong sense so they could dynamically tune the portal experience to hopefully give the customer faster access to what they need. And that proved out both on customer satisfaction and on and boost in marketing campaign revenue. Here's another experiential related initiative, simplifying multi-channel B2C conversations. A telecom carrier in Europe implemented this technology across a multi-channel environment that involved the call center as well as outbound direct marketing, email, postal mail, SMS, and the like. Because what they realized is they have too many channels that were not fully integrated using common models and rules. And what they did is that they rolled out a next best action platform across these disparate channels and just made the customer's handoff from channel to channel more seamless. So it was clearer that the right-hand channel knew what the left-hand channel was doing, and they were all presenting a common unified set of offers and interactions that made the customer feel that they were working together on the customer's behalf, and they also had strong bottom line payoff. And then in terms of personalizing cross-channel B2C interactions, customer wants to know that you know them, and that you're engaging them more intimately and proactively in helping them to realize the maximum value from a relationship. This financial services firm in the UK sought to do that, to do more one-to-one personalization of cross-channel B2C communications. And what it did is that it used the technology to target offers in outbound statement inserts, the ones that are physically mailed, as well as through direct email and SMS messages. But also, in many ways, it wanted to improve the portal experience by using more automated prompting, contextual reminders, and whatnot. Not just for sales, but just to give customers little ticklers or reminders of important things related to their accounts. And the customers loved it. And this company is expanding this deployment. So really, in many ways, these are very typical case studies in this space in terms of both boosting experience and boosting value of established companies that are using their earlier programs as the foundation ongoing for improving. So fundamentally, how to get started if you're looking into next best action. Well, identify your key requirements across the different CRM areas, primarily sales, marketing, and customer service. You don't necessarily need to go out and buy or license a new product to do this. This technology may be inside your existing CRM platform. Targeted offers, decision automation, next best action, it goes by various names, but we see a growing range of CRM solutions that incorporate this technology. In fact, we did a Forrester wave last year that identified, as of last year, the companies that are offering this as an embedded feature in their CRM environments. There also are standalone tools for next best action. They're often called something like an interaction optimization, or, like I said, recommendation engines, so forth. So that's a growing space. In fact, I'll be doing a Forrester wave later this year on those solutions. They can be deployed with any number of CRM environments and data warehouses. Experience management is critically important. Traditionally, the whole next best action space focused on targeted offers and churn mitigation and the like, but we see more and more of the vendors in this space emphasizing experience management and optimization going forward as critical to their evolution. And they're bringing more of these kinds of technologies into the overall product portfolio. In the long term, automation is critically important here on next best actions. This is decision automation. You need to automate the modeling as well by your data scientists. Predictive analytics, very, very important. You need to build an internal competency in that area. Your data warehouse, critically important. That's the core repository both of customer data, as well as being the core, increasingly the core platform for you to execute these models, these increasingly complex models with many variables, and to do it in a way that's big data, that leverages massive parallelism across tens to hundreds to thousands of distinct processing and storage nodes, such as a Hadoop cluster. And by the way, I'm doing a Hadoop wave as well. Automate, very important, because there aren't enough data scientists at a decent rate in the world to go to town on next best action across the whole board of all the things that can possibly be done. You need to automate more and more of these functions. That's also very important to keep costs down. And experience. Always need to make sure that when you're measuring customer lifetime value, you're including the experience-related metrics in that overall initiative. Satisfaction, response rates, and the like. And there's no substitute for actually talking to your customers directly to see what they think, because happiness is everything. Well, thank you very much, and now it's time for lunch now, and here's a plug for a number of reports that we've recently published in this area.
All right, thanks, James. Go stand back there a little more, because otherwise they can't see both of us on camera, apparently. So I have a couple questions. First of all, I just lost a bet, because you said Hadoop before lunch, which was the first time we said it, but that is an interesting fact that we haven't actually touched on so many of the technologies, so thanks for that. a lot of what you talked about is online engagement. What's the next best action as a buyer to recommend something for me? How does that stuff trickle down to, I'm an employee at the Gap and someone's bought a pair of pants and I need to know what to suggest to them later? Like, how does this find its way into other areas where you're not necessarily as connected?
Yeah. Well, if you're a point of sales clerk with the Gap, what you're doing is you're talking to the customer and you're possibly calling up their record right away. They've given you an ID. And you're looking to see, you can see their transaction history with you. That you might be able to, hopefully, if you've got a consolidated customer analytics data warehouse, you can see the full range of interactions, not just sales, interactions that all your channels have had with this particular customer. And if the technology, the next best action technology, has been deployed across all of your channels, including point of sale, the clerk might in the store see a specific recommendation, something they should propose that the call center agent may not see. Why? Well, one of the differences of the point of sale is that physically the product is there. You might say, go show them this product, which is currently in aisle 9, and demonstrate to them or show them the advantage of, So what I'm getting at is that these rules can then be tailored. So the guidance that that store clerk gets might be specifically location sensitive. It might be sensitive to the time of day. It might be sensitive to a number of variables that might be less important if it was simply an online interaction.
Sure, and that gets back to Panos' point about context, that you got to factor in inventory levels and things like that as well in that recommendation.
Yeah, for you, social variables might come in too. Let's say that customer and their family are all together right there, and through the magic of big data, you've got everybody's geospatial and social information churning into that recommendation engine. So the recommendation to the store clerk might be quite different. Oh, he's the head of the household. Oh, he just said he's looking for something that relates for his wife and kids. Okay, that makes everything different. Go show them another product. So in other words, one conceivably can throw that technology in to further contextualize it geospatially and socially and temporally to make this whole buying unit, this economic unit, the family, happier.
And it really comes down to some of the stuff that Tim's going to talk about over the next couple of days, this idea that it's not about humans or machines, but augmenting the human with that machine learning. So not just in point of sales, but in, for example, negotiation strategy or who to call on a particular day, or whether or not to hire a certain employee based on the manager's temperament and those kinds of things.
Yes.
So definitely, interesting path. Next best action is a foreshadowing of the human-machine augmentation that we're seeing with big data.
And that's why we call it proactive guidance more and more. Guidance is a broad term and a broad approach that can be applied everywhere in every decision environment, both internal to your company and in your external interactions. It's powerful technology.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.